Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Voluntary Virtues Network. I am your host, Mr. ANCAP, and this is my show, The State Sucks. Now, I'm doing a bit of a pre-recorded show now because, well, I'm not a huge fan of the Google Live quality with sound and blah blah blah, and I just don't think they capture my elegance. But enough about that. Today's show is going to be on war. It's going to be a bit of a brief on the history of war, how the state is bullshit with war, and how they fucking suck at war. Which is shocking, since when you talk to people about war, they say, oh, but the state does it so well. As if you got some fucking compare and contrast, right? Because we don't call wars that aren't the state wars. We call them fucking police actions and skirmishes and bullshit, right? But anyway, what sparked this interest of mine? What led me to this topic? Well, I was on the internet, as I often am, and I found myself talking with someone who calls themselves a liberal communist feminist. So they're basically just the personification of every political ideological thought process that I despise. So, yeah. But she said something rather interesting. She said that war is an invention of old men who just want to kill young men so they can get all the ladies. Now, this was stupid, and I corrected her. But it got me thinking, war is an interesting topic. Right? War has a interesting foundation, which is simplistic, as most things that start way back when are. But it has grown as we as a society has grown and become more bullshit as we have become more bullshit. So I thought I'd talk about it. Okay, so war originated as a part of our survival instinct thousands upon thousands of years ago, back when we were just becoming the things that would grow up to be us as the rational human beings we are today. Now, basically went like this. Tribe A, hungry. Tribe B, have food. Tribe B, dead motherfuckers. Okay, that's how it went. Okay, now I'm not condoning or condemning it. This was way back when. I mean, we have a hard enough time fucking bringing attention to the non-aggression principle in the modern age. Could you imagine how we would have been a few thousand years ago? Fuck, they would have killed us, ate our shit, and went on to pillage and plunder years later. No, but to all seriousness, that was the survival instinct. We didn't have a lot to go with. We were much like lions that needed to kill gazelles in order to live. Right? The economic situation that we had was one wherein survival hanged on a razor's edge, where any misstep, any fucking tomfoolery would lead to our utter annihilation. Now, we grew out of that. As we got smarter, we developed new ways of surviving. We developed instances of agriculture, of trade, really learning to more maximize our resources so much so that it didn't seem so damn necessary to kill our neighbors to take their shit. Now, as our society grew, as we got more rational, and we started understanding things a bit more, we wanted society to be more cohesive, right? We wanted people to go along to fucking get along, and one method we employed, foolishly, was the invention of the state. This group that would represent the collective and help guide us and lead us through the darkness. Now, our ancestors did not know the horrid leviathan they were unleashing upon us all. But, you live and you learn. Now, war became a much more entangled part of our lives. Now, it's something we had become rather predisposed to as a species. However, there were problems, right? We as a society changed. Our economic structures changed. We couldn't hold on to everything from our relic of a past. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, we used to steal in order to keep ourselves alive. Like, it wasn't a fact that our economy was a failure. It's simply a fact we didn't have the resources we needed. We literally stole money so we could eat in order to survive. Very Aladdin-esque. What the modern state did was it didn't steal resources and, tax livestock and shit like that in order to live. It did it in order to live under the conditions it had already lived under. Now, these are very important distinctions, right? One is a happenstance of nature which cannot be avoided. The other is a lifestyle choice that leads to degradation. Now, this is very important. We can go all the way back to Rome and see the problem. The state rises, right? It rises from wealth that is accumulated in this geographical location, and it builds up to the behemoth it inevitably becomes. As it grows, politics ensues, bureaucracy, blah, blah, blah. Now, what happens is people need to be bribed. the peasantry, the aristocracy, the fucking, even the captain of industry, everyone needs to be bribed and controlled in the statist paradigm. And this is where you get shit like social programs. You get shit like your fucking social security. You get shit like your public schooling. You get the fucking foreign policy, which is very little more than diplomatic money laundering to shake the right hands and grease the right palms. And this inevitably leads to debt, right? Because the state's fucking stupid at everything it does. It cannot do a goddamn thing right. Fucking accounting is not going to be the exception to this fucking rule. So states go broke, right? And so they turn to this time-honored tradition of whacking our goddamn neighbor over the head and robbing his shit. The problem is that you cannot solve a problem of poor economics by throwing money at it. Right? So when you have a problem where it's not that you don't produce well, or it's not that you don't have resources, it's the fact you squander them, throwing more resources at it doesn't help. Okay? It doesn't. Right? People like Paul Krugman, these society-supported, intellectual, world-renowned economists will come out and fucking give you this Keynesian economic bullshit about how war helps an economy, that shit like 9/11 is a good thing because it'll spur economic growth, blah, blah, blah. These are fucking morons. These are fucking morons. Okay. What they imagine, what they believe, is that we are a mugger, right? We are a mugger who wants to rob people so that we can get enough money to pay for a college degree so we can go on to be a fucking engineer or a doctor or a lawyer or something productive so that we are maximizing the resources, not squandering them. What they do not understand is the state is not some well-meaning, well-thought-out, well-planned motherfucker, right? The state is a goddamn heroin addict who just wants to rob a motherfucker to shoot up tomorrow night, right? And that's all it is. We just want the money so that we can keep paying for these insolvent fucking programs, right? That's it. That's it. Bread and circus. That's all we want the money for, and to keep the peasantry happy. Because you know why? Because in order to have real economic stimulation, to have real foundational firm change, you have to go to the fucking peasantry and be like, hey guys, you know all that free shit we've promised you that you'll always have and you've grown accustomed to? Bullshit. Our bad. Our bad. No motherfucker's ever gonna fucking do this. It's not gonna happen. And this is where we go back to shit like Rome. See, this was Rome's big problem. Right? Rome got big, it started paying for shit it couldn't afford, and so it continued militarism. That's the foundation for all imperialism, by the way, is economic insolvency. War is the band-aid on the festering wound that states put on it because they can't face reality. And it's not even their fault. This is the one fucking instance where you really have to look rationally and realize they are in a fucking rock and a hard place. Right? I mean, you either tell the peasantry that you're going to have to cut their social programs and have riots, or you fucking murder people across the world away, right? Half a world away. You're never going to see their faces. And you die 10, 20, 30, 100 years later. These are your fucking options. It's much easier to kick that goddamn can down the road. Okay? So even back at Rome, right? Back at Rome, that's what I'm saying. You went to war, imperialism, conquered the fucking world just to stave off the inevitable economic collapse. But they couldn't do it forever. Okay, this is important to know. That band-aid is not going to keep out your goddamn syphilis. Okay, it's not going to fucking do it. You are going to lose that arm. You're going to lose the body. You're fucked. It's just a matter of if and when. Okay? So Rome fell, right? It got big, it got broke, eventually got fucking raided. But I don't have to go all the way back at Rome. Okay, let's look at fucking Nazi Germany, right? Everyone wants to look at Nazi Germany. What caused it? Like, everyone wants to talk about how it's racism and fucking anti-Semitism. That's not what caused the National Socialist Party to rise in Germany. No, it's the fucking Treaty of Versailles, right? From World War I, raped the fucking German economy. I mean, have you guys ever seen that picture of that old bitch in the fucking wheelbarrow with all the money, and she's going to buy some fucking bread with all that money? That's fucking Germany after the Treaty of Versailles. And when people are economically fucking down for the count, they'll take anything. They will jump on any fucking bandwagon that gets them to the lifeboat that gets them off the goddamn Titanic. Okay, that's what they want. And this predilection we have towards self-survival can be manipulated, right? Like fucking Rahm Emanuel, never let a good crisis go to waste. This is the type of thing. This fear, this concern, makes us irrational, makes us easy to manipulate. But yeah, so that's how the National Socialist Party rose. And what did they do? They went into debt, went into war to try to fix the fucking country. Couldn't do it. They got stopped, of course, mostly by the Russians. They didn't get a lot of credit for that. The U.S. hogged a lot of the limelight. But they couldn't have done it. Even if they could have fought the war, even if they didn't get defeated upon the field of battle, they would have died. Now, you might ask, how do you know that? You're just some fucking bitch-ass dude in a shirt. Well, I would take you to overlook at the fucking, communist Russia, the USSR, right? So how did they start? Well, bitches were broke. Bitches were broke. The communists came along and said, fuck this bourgeoisie bullshit. Let's go burn the Romanovs to the fucking ground, and we're going to have this beautiful classless utopia wherein all beauty will be looked at, blah, 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 bullshit. Did that happen? No. They were a classless fucking society. Okay? Because you knew how you were. Were you one of the ones getting marched to the fucking gulags, or were you the ones not getting marched to the fucking gulags? It needs to be made perfectly clear. But even then, they had massive problems with economic instability. Right? They had bread lines where you'd wait in for hours. They'd have poor resource management, wherein some bread lines had too much bread, so bread went bad. Other bread lines didn't get enough bread, so the fucking bitches would starve, right? And of course, you had to wait like a few hours to find out which line you were in. You had poor medical care. No matter how free it was very poor. It was very subpar. You had dwelling structures, right? Which even in the 80s, in the Russian 80s, were comparable to 1950s US of A, right? So not great quality, right? Not great comfort. And of course, what did the USSR do? It tried to conquer the rest of the world, tried to convert them to communism. Why? Because they needed the resources, right? They needed the resources to put on the fucking charade. This is the same thing you're going to hear with the Venus Project. If you talk to any of them, they're Marxists, which are just communist, socialists, just tiny, tedious variations. They say that they cannot start anywhere. Like, okay, you guys have this corner of the world, have your fun with it. Fucking people like Peter Joseph will be like, no, it's going to be a global thing. We need to control all the resources. Because they fucking know. If they get one corner of the world, they're going to fucking die in the streets. They're done. They will squander their resources, their time, their energy, fucking down the tube. Down the tube. And war will be inevitable. War is the inevitable cataclysm. But what happened with the USSR? Were they defeated? Was there some magnificent battle wherein capitalism conquered its communist adversary? No. They just went broke. That's it. Done. Game the fuck over. Reality inevitably came and bitch slapped communism in the USSR. That's the thing. Economic collapse is inevitable. The only way I've seen communists be able to stave off economic collapse is if they really fuck over their population. I'm talking North Korea, where they will make them so fucking destitute that they go cannibalist in order to survive. That's the only way I've seen them survive. None of this bullshit about, everybody's looked after, everybody's taken care of. No, everyone's fucked, right? That's what we're seeing in the real world. And America is no exception. No exception. Imperialism is foundationally, as I said, in order to stave off economic collapse. America is this thing. Why are we constantly at war? Why are we so fucking focused on the Middle East? Right? These are questions. Why does our militarism be so paramount no matter what political office is in power where? Simple fact of the matter is, it's too fucking entrenched. There's no stopping it. Okay? Because they know the moment we bring our troops home, fucking hyperinflation overnight. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, you're just a fucking bullshit guy in a shirt again. Why the fuck are you still talking? You've been talking for fucking 13 minutes. You don't know bullshit. What college did you go to? Do you know Paul Krugman? No, it's just a fact. It's just a fact. The only thing that gives our currency value, because it's not backed by anything tangible, right? We're no longer using IOUs in order to exchange for gold like we used to. No. What our currency has value from is the fact that we are the world reserve currency. That is what allows for our currency to perpetuate the notion that it is relevant in the modern age. What does this mean for those of you who don't know? The world reserve currency. Basically, some time ago, for some bullshit reasons having to do with the barrel of a gun being pushed at enough people's heads, the dollar was determined to be the world reserve currency for oil transactions. Essentially put, if you are an English motherfucker and you want to buy oil, you got to take your pounds, got to trade it for dollars, got to use those dollars to buy fucking oil. Same thing for euros, same thing for yen, same thing for et cetera, so on and so forth. Ruples, what have you. This is what allows our currency to be somewhat valuable. This is why people will still invest in the dollar. This is why. because you still have to use it to get oil. The millisecond, the fucking minute moment after that is no longer a fact, our currency is fucking shot. We're done. We're done. And so that is why we are in the fucking Middle East. Right? That is why we are fucking putting a gun to motherfuckers' heads and blowing them up and killing the Pakistani kids. To be fair, Middle Eastern kids in general, because as Obama says, you'll never see them coming. But that's why we're fucking killing people and asserting U.S. dominance. Because that is the survival instinct. And we're not going to change. It needs to be made perfectly clear. We're not going to alter our habits. Right? We're going to fucking bail out Detroit. Right? We're going to keep making sure everyone's getting their pensions, getting their this, getting their that, because it's what they were promised. And isn't that just fair? I'm sorry. Okay? We're fucked. Economically speaking. I mean, the people will likely survive. A lot of the people, the country will survive. It's a piece of land with a bunch of fucking organic creatures on it. We will survive. But in terms of the world we have come to know, no, it won't survive for very long. It's just a matter of when, at this point. And we're not going to change it. We're not going to change. It's too late even if we wanted to. We are fucking in the hole. In the hole. So that is a bit of an intro to war. But why is our state bullshit at it? Well, it's bullshit because of how we handle it. Right? I mean, we are so past the point of rational thought that we no longer even pretend like there's a reason for it anymore. When was the last time we fucking declared a war, for God's sake? World War II? Like, at best? I mean, seriously, ladies and gentlemen. This is serious talk. Did we declare Vietnam? I don't think we declared Vietnam. No, World War II. And even World War II was under some shady fucking reasons. You know, why did Japan attack, Pearl Harbor? Well, it's because we put up oil embargoes. I mean, we were literally trying to force them to attack us to give the government a reason to go to war that the people didn't want to fight. Yeah, that's another fun thing. The U.S. people didn't want to go to World War II. That needs to be made very clear. The government did, people didn't. Impasse. That was back when the U.S. government had to pretend to give a shit what people thought. Of course, they've spent decades since then making us a nice, sheepish, docile race, too damn stupid to realize how the world works. That's bullshit. But we'll get to that. But yes, governments also suck because they have to perpetuate false flags. Right? That to get us into most wars. Hitler fucking did it. Vietnam was a false flag, Gulf of Tonkin, all kinds of shit like that. Right? We have to bullshit reasons to go to war. And it's sad. Right? It's sad. Like, the non-aggression principle is simple enough. Like, I believe it was the law by Frederick Bastiat. I could be wrong about this. I could be. Do not fucking go to the comment section on this and be like, oh my god, I hate this motherfucker, you got this quote wrong. You can correct my fucking dumbass. Comment section. But when goods don't cross borders, soldiers will. And this is a beautiful quote. I love this fucking quote. Okay, I love it because it's so apt. It's concise. It's to the fucking point. That's true. Okay, if you do not have economic interdependency, contention is inevitable. You will eventually have issues. You'll be like, motherfucker, that is my fucking diamond mine. Don't make me turn this into a blood diamond mine. And the state loves this. The state loves this. It loves to fucking use their population's ignorance and fear against them. I mean, just look at since 9/11. Okay, this is just bullshit. So the last thing that's big on why the state sucks at war, because it does suck. It drains money and resources and just it squanders them. Right? Let's look at Iraq, for example. This is something a lot of the conservatives bring up, if I'm not mistaken. It's the conservatives, right? No, we'll get to that. Well, we won't get to that, because I'm rather right. I don't give a shit. But we take money to build weapons in order to blow motherfuckers up, like destroy them, and then we take money to build those motherfuckers back up. Why? Well, so we can put the right fucking dictators in so our currency can maintain the value. But that's just the thing. We're wasting resources. This isn't even just going to talk about the economy. This isn't talking about money or anything. We are literally wasting resources. Like, every resource that went to go into a goddamn bomb or a tank or bullets or what have you for the pointless wars were resources wasted. Resources we're not going to fucking imagine back into fucking existence. Right? I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking, oh, Mr. ANCAP, he's going that pacifist bullshit guns are bad route. No, I think we should always be making bigger and better guns. The Reapers are out there, ladies and gentlemen. But it's just wasted resources that piss me the fuck off. Not to mention the biggest resource of all that gets squandered is the human lives on both sides. All the potential for good, for productivity, for fucking insight, gone. How many children have died in these wars that could have went on to be the next goddamn Da Vinci? Probably not many. Okay, Da Vinci's a rare motherfucker. But these are people that have been squandered. Lives wasted. All because, in the U.S.'s case, want to perpetuate the notion that we can play make-believe forever. Right? This is sadness. This is sadness. The non-aggression principle would really help here, but, it's tough to receive it. Right? Because people take your non-interventionist policies as fucking isolationism, which it isn't. Okay, just because I don't want to beat my wife doesn't mean I don't want to, hang out with her, kiss her, love her, go to the fucking movies with her, But, it's a slow process. It's slow going. You guys can put in the comments section, any skills you bring to the table to try to spread the non-aggression principle. Because we here at the Voluntary Virtues Network, we are big on the NAP. Which doesn't really make us anti-war. It makes us anti-statist war, because every fucking war the state fights is bullshit. It's just control of the elites trying to conquer the fucking tax livestock of the other one. Right? I mean, they don't give a shit about the little guy at the bottom. I mean, even back in the day with the aristocracy and feudalism and the fucking, the knights, they were still fucking conscripting peasants to go fight their real wars. Right? When they weren't playing slap in the face, have a little nice duel, they were conscripting the poor bastards to go fight and die. Poor old bastards. But yeah, so that's my insight on war. That's the brief thing I'm bringing to you. I know this video's, I'm going to try to eat up some time here. Try to hit my 30-minute mark. But yeah, so war is bullshit. The history of war, survival instinct. The modernization of war, to stave off inevitable economic collapse. And it's just sad, ladies and gentlemen. It's just sad. But I mean, the definition of insanity, as I've been told, as I've read, as I've Googled, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Now, I don't know if the fucking people at the power of the elite at the top expect anything other than inevitable collapse. It'd be a special level of stupid to think that. But it is doing the same thing over and over again for pointless reasons. It's a cycle that cannot be escaped. Right? Because here's the double-edged sword. This is the last point I'll close on. Okay, brilliant. The state wants a society that is docile, that is dependent, that needs the state. The problem is, once that state has been achieved, the society becomes economically ruined, to where war is an inevitable necessity to continue the brief existence of that state. The only way to solve this is to have a society of people who are smart enough, clever enough, have enough foresight to understand that they cannot rely on the state. But then, of course, the problem becomes people who don't need a state do not need a state. So the state is fucking stuck. What do? Well, the state chooses, as the state often does, is, well, better to, have a little bit of power now than never have power at all. Right? Sort of like love, sort of like Shakespeare. Better to have loved and lost than never have loved at all. Better to have stated and stopped stating than never to have stated at all. Statist gonna state, yo. Statist gonna state. So I guess that's what I am going to, that's what I'm going to close out here on. So let me know what you guys think. Okay, whole video, whole thought. Actually, I'm running out of ideas. I mean, I got really lucky talking to that fucking moron on the internet to get this topic. So, biggest thing of all, I want you to put in the description, what do you want me to talk about? Some topic. It can be vague, it can be specific. I'll try to squeeze some fucking at least 25 minutes out of it. I will try that for you guys, because I love you. I love your faces. Love you faces. But yeah, so topic ideas are always welcome. So, like, favorite, subscribe, spread the voluntary virtues thing. Tell Shanklin that you love my show and I'm your favorite and I'm your bestest buddy. Some variation of that. And I will appreciate it. But yeah, have a great day, guys. I hope this has helped you think. Go take a nap. I don't know. I'm out of ideas. Okay, bye.